Hello YouTube and welcome back into another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Medieval Dynasty, and I know it's been a while, but the game is now fully released and I've had an opportunity to basically play through it to my heart's content after the full release, so I've been able to test out everything about the game and see the total status of the game 1 year later. So many of you might have joined the channel about a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago, when I initially started covering Medieval Dynasty in early release. And when I first uploaded a review video after playing it for about 35 hours, at that time, I said it was a good game that I recommend. Well, now, after a year of updates and it finally getting its full release, I can say I definitely recommend this game. Medieval Dynasty is the perfect example of an early release title done right, or an early access title done right. Toplets did excellent work with this. The game was good at launch, it was playable at launch, and it only got better from there, adding more and more features and fleshing out things, and adding things that I don't think they even initially intended, but then realized would be good ideas from community feedback. And so now, as of October 2021, I fully recommend purchasing this game if you like any sort of medieval video games, whether that's survival crafting, sim, city management, or just real light RPG / action adventure type games, because it's got a lot of everything, but it's a lot of fun. I definitely enjoy it. And so we're going to be going through the state of the game and kind of talk about what's changed and what's great and what's not so great, if there's anything in that category. So let's just get going through Medieval Dynasty. So first of all, when you get into Medieval Dynasty nowadays, you can start a new game, and you can either just press start and you'll start with all the default stuff, or you can customize it. And there's been a lot of options added since the game was initially released. So for one thing, there are presets where you can just kind of set your difficulty up. So you can go to easy, normal, which is, recommended, or hard, and basically that'll just increase your taxes and your food, water, all that sort of stuff needs going on. But there's quite a few other things. So for one thing, you could turn your taxes all the way down to 0, I guess, or you could turn them all the way up to what, 1,000? Yeah, that's insane. But so you can really fuddle with your taxes. So a lot of people, I would just recommend leaving them at 100, because the taxes are an important part of the game and they kind of add a point to it, especially late game. Your building limit you can put up to 200%. So the building limit right now is 65 buildings once you reach the top tier, but if you put it to 200, obviously it's twice that. Only issue with that being you might start to lag out your game a bit from having too many assets in it. I just recommend leaving it at 100, but it's up to you, and it depends how beefy your PC is. Events are new random events that occur at the season change. They could be positive things like maybe, I don't know, there was a rainbow and it makes everyone happier, or a storm happened and it damaged a bunch of your buildings. So those were added, and I definitely like those. They now have basically God mode options, so you can put unlimited hit points, stamina, you never get hungry, never get thirsty, and make your weight unlimited. So you can put any of those on now. So if you just want to play and you want to build a really cool looking city or something like that, they have basically God mode cheats that you can use if you want. Then of course you can adjust your inhabitants' food, water, and wood needs. You can put them really low to make it easier, or put it really high to make it more complex. There's bandits that you can that are in the game. I definitely recommend checking this. They don't seem to attack you like your settlement or anything like that, but you can run into them out into the wild, and that's pretty fun and exciting. And then obviously just options for your enemies. You can turn on or off the poisoning, temperature control. You can put fast crafting on. That's definitely one that I know a lot of people wanted, because certain things it would take like 10 plus seconds to craft a tool. Well, you put fast crafting on, it's just one go around the loop. So it's definitely one that out of all the cheaty things, that's the only one that I've ever clicked, because I think that fast crafting is definitely one that I really enjoy. And then of course you can turn up your XP gain multiplier, or turn it down to either slow down or speed up how fast you level up in things. And the same could be said for technology and dynasty reputation. So they really made it so you can really customize the game to make it as easy or as hard as you want. Like I said, I just recommend either putting it on normal or hard and starting. So I'm not going to start a new game right now, because I actually have a game that I've been playing for several days, probably almost 2 weeks now, and I'll show you what I've done in that one. All right, so just in reality, the game has changed a lot since launch, and that just comes in of just a ton of different ways. So you can see I'm here in my settlement that I've made right here on the map. It's my personal favorite spot to build nowadays. I released a video a while back where I showed the top 5 spots. I don't know if this spot was one of them, but it's definitely my favorite now, because after building here, I was like, yeah, this place is awesome. And you can see it's pretty big. If I go over to management, you can see where I'm at right now. I've got 65 out of 65 buildings built. I've got 62 people living here. My annual taxes are almost 6,000 coins. So it's definitely come a long way. And you can micromanage all of it. You have to set people to work in specific jobs there, but you have to do that from the start. But you also go into over into here and you set them to do specific jobs. So if we go into woodshed, we click here, I can select what I want them all working on, whether it's making planks or firewood or logs or, whatever that may be. And you can do that for every single one. They added some new stuff in the stalls. So now we have stalls where we can set them up, assign someone to work in them, and then set them to sell stuff. And it'll sell stuff right out of your resource storage. So they've definitely come a long way as far as the city management goes. As far as building goes, I mean, for handcrafting, you can now handcraft all of the basic tools, so there's no gaps. There used to be an issue with when you first started off, you needed to mine stuff to get certain materials, but there was no way to get a pickaxe. Now you can just craft a stone pickaxe from the start. So they fixed that issue. For building, they've added tons of stuff. Still the same amount of houses. There's 3 houses. There's 2 woodsheds, 2 variations of the mine. A well got added just recently, so now you've got a way to get water even if you're not right on a river or something. And then herbalist hut, that used to be just a part of the hunting shack. You could have them gathering resources. Now that's all in the herbalist section. Plus they added a whole bunch of potions that can be made, like health potions and stamina, all sorts of stuff like that. So that's all new to the game. As far as hunting goes, we have 2 variations of the hunting lodge, 2 for the fishing shack. For farming, we've got 3 barns, fields. They added orchards, so now you can plant hops or pears, plums, cherries, apple trees. You plant those once and then you can harvest them every year. So that's a lot of fun. As far as animal husbandry goes, they really fleshed this all the way out, and now it actually all works. So you build one of these buildings, you assign someone to breed these animals, and then you buy some starter animals, and the animal breeder will both do a job in there and also breed new animals that you can sell. So if you have cows, the job would be milking the cows, or sheep, it would be shearing the sheep, chicken, collecting the eggs and feathers. And they also breed more animals, which you can then sell. So animal husbandry is now 100% working. For production, we've got 3 workshops, 3 smithies, 3 sewing huts, and 2 kitchens, and then the tavern, so the tavern being the highest level for them. They do basically the same stuff they've done from the start, except it's been fleshed out a bit more, especially for the smithy, which has had, we can just pop over into the smithy and I'll show you, because this has changed a lot, probably the biggest change from the start, because the smithy initially it had very little functionality. Now in the forge, you actually use the forge to make the various types of metal, which are copper, tin, bronze, and iron. When it first started out, the only metal was iron, which was funny, skipping straight from the Stone Age to the Iron Age. You couldn't even use the forge, you just smithed the metal, so they definitely worked on that. You've got all your basic stuff you can work on here, and then actually an anvil for iron weapons and iron tools, which, like I said, were initially the only metal, but now we have bronze and then copper for weapons and tools. So it definitely got way more advanced in a lot of regards. Just finishing off the building, like I said, we've got the builder's hut, which is where you can assign someone to work in there, and you can either have them upgrading your buildings or repairing them if they get damaged and stuff, or the market stall, which I've got several of, which is a place where you can assign someone and they'll sell goods for you. So you just have a constant stream of money coming in, so that's fun. And lastly, the storages are basically the same. They didn't change much. As far as the storages go, when they were first implemented, they all seemed to be individual, but that was a long time ago. Now they're all linked together. The more you have of each type, the more capacity you have, and it doesn't matter where you have them on the map, they're all linked together. So I've got a couple here in my town, I think 2 or 3 resource storages, just to try to keep the limit up nice and high, because I haven't unlocked the 3rd level of it yet. But then I've also got one at all my mining outposts. So it's definitely a great way to have access to your greater inventory from all over the map. They also have several types of fences that have been from the beginning. They added gates in a more recent update, so we can actually build gates on all of our fences now. As far as furniture and decorations go, we've got the same campfires. They added a couple more fish traps as far as the traps go. We've got a whole selection of seating that can be built now that you and the other people, like the NPCs in the game, can and will use. Same goes for these tables if you want to decorate stuff. They added lighting a while back, so that's great. You can light up your towns at night. And of course, we still have the wash tub, which, allows you to wash yourself, and the archery target, which is fun to shoot at. And then they gave us the ability to build gravel roads, which I take pretty heavy advantage of in my building. It just helps make the whole place actually look like a settlement and not a bunch of buildings jammed into the hills. So it's definitely come an extremely long way. As far as other major improvements go, horses were added to the game. We knew they would. That was loud. We knew they would be from the start because the skill tree was in there, but horses are in here now. They allow you to quickly get around the map, which is a huge improvement. It definitely changed the entire aspect of the game. Another huge thing that's changed for the better is the addition of kings and the herald, who will bring you kind of higher level quests, especially as you get a couple years into the game. Recently I had one where the herald came in and he wanted me to kill 30 dangerous animals to prepare for the king to come in to hunt. So it could be all sorts of stuff. That's the most recent quest I had. That's a huge addition to the game. Honestly, like I said, I just think it's come so far from where it was that it's incredible. The game has been fully fleshed out. Everything they promised or initially implemented to some extent has been fully finished and fleshed out, and everything else has just improved drastically, way beyond what I think the original scope was. So every single one of the skills does exactly what it says it's going to do. They're all fully implemented. The micromanagement in your settlement works 100%, and it works great, and it's definitely fun and very intuitive to use, very easy to learn. The technology has been expanded drastically, adding tons of new stuff into the game, plus fixing all the things that didn't work initially, making it so that, like I said, it's very intuitive. There's a lot of stuff here, but it's not hard to learn how to use. Honestly, I recommended this game when it first came out, but I recommend it even more thoroughly now. They've also fleshed out and polished up a little bit of the story elements. So if we go over here and into journal and completed quests, there's obviously all the side quests and the chapters and stuff. So if you go through chapters 1, a new beginning, this is the basic tutorial quest that brings you all the way up through being pretty much an expert into the game. But then there's also the story missions. There's some of them like Dobra Niga's story, which is like 1 or 2 missions. So those aren't all that well fleshed out, even though the dialogue and everything is pretty interesting. The 2 main ones are Unigos' story and Olwyn's story. I hope that this is really all that they could add to the game from now on, because the game is basically perfect the way it is now. I just hope they add more stories, because the quality, if you actually read the dialogue and follow along with the storyline, the quality of Unigos' story and Olwyn's story is really, really high. They're very interesting, very entertaining, and I played through them basically as quick as I could. Now for some of them, you'll get to like every time you complete a mission, you'll have to wait till the next season to progress, but it was worth it because they were a lot of fun to do. And yeah, that is basically the current status of Medieval Dynasty. Like I said, I definitely recommend picking it up if you've never tried it, and if you were just if you tried it back at early release, I definitely recommend giving it another try, because it has changed so much. It's almost not the same game. So that is basically where we're at. You can see that if you're just interested in the building aspects of it, there's definitely a lot of creative freedom to be had in a game like this, and you can go whichever direction you want. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it entertaining, useful, enlightening, anything like that. It's definitely been a lot of fun playing Medieval Dynasty again. I will have the Steam page for it linked in the description. I definitely recommend giving it a try if you haven't already, or if it's just been a while. So thanks a ton for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.